From the love triangle between Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, and Nick Jonas, to the one between Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, and Billy Bob Thornton, there's never a dull moment in Hollywood. Here are a few of the strangest Hollywood love triangles no one knew about. Let's start with one of the most shocking love triangles in Hollywood: Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, and Billy Bob Thornton. That's right, guys. Before Brangelina was even a thing, Angelina was actually married to Billy Bob. But when she met Brad on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, things took a turn for the unexpected. Angelina and Brad's undeniable chemistry on set turned into a full-blown affair. But here's the twist: Brad actually had a close relationship with Billy Bob, who he starred alongside in the film Pushing Tin. In fact, Brad even served as a groomsman at Billy Bob and Angelina's wedding. Imagine your groomsman marrying your wife. Yikes. Another love triangle that will leave you shocked involves the late Heath Ledger, Michelle Williams, and Jake Gyllenhaal. While filming the film Brokeback Mountain, Heath and Jake became close friends, and rumors quickly began to swirl that they were more than just co-stars. But it turns out that the real love triangle was between Heath, Jake, and Michelle Williams, who was Heath's girlfriend at the time. Despite being in a committed relationship, Heath was said to be deeply in love with Jake, and the two remained close until Heath's untimely death in 2008. But let's not forget the classic Hollywood love triangle involving Elizabeth Taylor, Debbie Reynolds, and Eddie Fisher. This brought about a buzz because Elizabeth and Debbie were good friends, and Debbie was even married to Eddie, who was a popular singer at the time. But when Elizabeth's third husband, Mike Todd, passed away in a plane crash, Eddie was there to comfort her. The two began a secret affair, and when Debbie found out, she was understandably heartbroken. To make matters worse, Eddie ended up divorcing Debbie to marry Elizabeth, which caused a major scandal in Hollywood. The next one is an iconic love triangle that's been hidden in plain sight. Remember the 2008 rom-com 27 Dresses? Well, it turns out that the movie stars Katherine Heigl and James Marsden had some serious chemistry off-screen. But there's one little problem. James was actually dating Katherine's sister, Meg. Yeah, we know that's a little too close for comfort. Apparently, the affair was short-lived and James and Meg eventually broke up, but talk about a family feud. Now, let's get to the good stuff. The love triangle that shook the Disney Channel to its core. It all started when Nick Jonas and Miley Cyrus started dating back in the early 2000s. They were the ultimate Disney Channel couple, and fans were obsessed. I gotta admit, I was one of them too. But things got complicated when Nick and Miley broke up, and he started dating Selena Gomez soon after. To make things even more confusing, Miley and Selena were friends at the time, and rumors began to swirl that Miley wasn't too happy about Nick moving on so quickly. Fast forward a few years, and Miley and Nick ended up rekindling their romance while Selena was dating Justin Bieber. Talk about a tangled web. But sadly, even Jelena didn't work out, as we all know. Okay, now let's get to the love triangle that had everyone talking. In the late 2000s, Kate Hudson was dating Yankee star Alex Rodriguez, and the two seemed like the ultimate power couple. But things got messy when it was revealed that A-Rod was also dating Cameron Diaz at the same time. Now, we're not talking about a quick fling or a one-night stand here. A-Rod was reportedly dating both women at the same time for months. Talk about a major player move. And it gets even crazier. After things ended between A-Rod and Kate, he and Cameron started getting more serious. But that didn't stop Kate from trying to win him back. She reportedly even showed up to one of his games wearing a Yankees cap with A-Rod embroidered on the back. In the end, A-Rod and Cameron went their separate ways, and he eventually settled down with Jennifer Lopez. But the drama between him, Kate, and Cameron will forever be burned into our brains. Now, this is another 2000s triangle for all the OGs: Hilary Duff, Aaron Carter, and Lindsay Lohan. Back in the early 2000s, Hilary and Aaron were dating, and it seemed like a match made made in heaven. But things took a turn when Aaron reportedly started cheating on Hillary with none other than Lindsay Lohan. To make things even more complicated, Hillary and Lindsay were also friends at the time. Talk about betrayal. But there was more. After things ended between Aaron and Hillary, he reportedly started dating Lindsay and even got a tattoo of her name on his arm. But the two eventually went their separate ways, and Aaron has since admitted that he regrets cheating on Hillary with Lindsay. As for Hillary, she's happily married with children, and Lindsay has had their fair share of ups and downs over the years. But the love triangle between these three will forever be one of the most shocking and scandalous in Hollywood history. Speaking of drama and scandal, how can I miss out on Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, and Caitlin Cronenberg? Back in 2012, Robert and Kristen were one of the hottest couples in Hollywood, thanks to their roles in the Twilight movies. But things took a turn when Kristen was caught cheating on Robert with the director Rupert Sanders. And that's not even the most shocking part. It was later revealed that Robert had been spending time with Caitlin Cronenberg, daughter of famed director David Cronenberg. And this was during the same time that Kristen was cheating on him. Now, I'm not saying that Robert was cheating on Kristen with Caitlin, but the fact that he was spending time with another woman during the same time period definitely adds an extra layer of drama to the whole situation. Caitlin's career took off, and she became even more popular and talented in the film industry through her work. And while most of us shipped the two, Robert and Kristen ended up splitting ultimately. This was pretty sad news at the time for all of us die-hard Twilight fans. Their love story was something we could move on from, but I can't really say that we moved on as easily from the one and only James Bond. This is where the love triangle between Jude Law, Sienna Miller, and David Craig comes in. Back in the early 2000s, Jude and Sienna were one of the hottest couples in Hollywood. They were engaged, but things took a turn when it was revealed that Jude had cheated on Sienna with his children's nanny. Hold on to your seats, because it was later revealed that the other man in Sienna's life was none other than Daniel Craig, her co-star in the movie Layer Cake. Sienna and Daniel reportedly had a fling while filming the movie, which caused even more drama for the already complicated love triangle. And finally, let's end with a triangle that involves not one, not two, but three of the biggest names in Hollywood: Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Aniston. If you don't live under a rock, then there's no way you didn't know about Ben and Jennifer back then. They were engaged, but things took a turn when he started filming the movie Geely with Jennifer Lopez. The two fell in love on set, and Ben famously left Jen for J-Lo. We then found out that during a brief split from J-Lo, Ben had a fling with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, you heard that right. The two Jennifers were both involved with Ben at the same time. In the end, Ben and Jen ended up splitting, and he eventually went on to marry Jennifer Garner. And that is it for all the messy love triangles for today.